Good morning. If you could take your seats, we'd like to get started. There are seats down in the front. No one up the stage is going to bite, so come on down. Fill in. If you could please take your seat, we'd like to begin. Good morning, Sacramento City College. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Spring 2020 Convocation. Good morning, my name is Dr. Norman Lorenz. I'm with the Staff Professional Development Center for the campus, and I am honored to be here and represent all of the students for the work that we are about to undertake. This morning, if you want to follow along with the agenda, you'll go to the Sacramento City website /PD Week and click on Friday, and you'll find the digital electronic agenda. It is the pleasure to announce our president momentarily with the college address, and then he'll be giving us some conversation around the new mysterious launching. And at that point, Tracy Gomez will be coming up. He'll announce her, as well as after her presentation, you'll be experiencing some interactive sessions, and I'll come back up and direct you out to the interactive sessions here in the PAC building, and I'll let you know where those seats are. And again, the agenda describes for each constituency body where you'll be going. And then we'll be coming back here by 11 a.m. For the remaining portion of the convocation, in which Jesus Limon Guzman will be facilitating a panel discussion. So with that, I would like to present to you our college president, Dr. Michael Gutierrez.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. It's really great to be with you this morning. Really, really happy to be with all of you. And I'd like to get started first by introducing a couple of people, a couple of guests. And our first guest is the Vice President of our Board of Trustees, and that's Ms. Deborah Ortiz. Another board member that will be here, but she's in transit from CRC, so she's trying to watch that convocation as well and come here later, and that's Board of Trustee member Pam Haynes, and she's also part of the Board of Governors. So if you recall, last spring we had a different sort of convocation. It focused on equity, and we had asked our chancellor to not give us an address, but to just come and listen. And so that's what he did. And so he's continued that structure. So this semester, he's making the rounds each year. He's at ARC, so he will not be with us today. And what we also found out from the surveys is that you don't want to really hear from me that much. So I guess thank you for that. But that you enjoyed hearing an outside speaker. And while we don't have necessarily an outside speaker today, we have an internal one. And it won't be me, okay? So I will be with you just for a few minutes. And I really want to talk to you only about a couple of things, but they both revolve around student success. And one thing that I forgot is the clicker. At the college, and has been all over the place the past couple of years, and really longer than that. We've been asking ourselves the question, what can we do to help our students be more successful? What can we do to help our students be more successful? And we've heard that in our equity meetings, our guided pathways meetings. We've heard that in English, ESL, and math as they're working on AB 705. We've heard that in student services meetings, facilities meetings. We've heard it in discipline meetings like chemistry, HVAC. We've heard it in programs like RISE, like the Honors College, all over the place. And those are just some of the examples where people have been answering that question of what we can do to help students be more successful. So at the global level, what we're doing as a district, March 3rd, we're going to have a new bond. And so thanks to the support of the Board of Trustees, it is a way for us to work on our physical infrastructure to help students succeed. And back in 2008, we still see remnants of that, right, of how Sac City College is benefiting, because if you just drive through Freeport and Sutterville, you will see New Moore Hall and New Lillard Hall, right? So you still have the benefits from that. This year, the bond is a little different. It's $650 million, but it's not going to benefit Sac City in the same way, even though we will benefit quite a bit. If you've noticed, right, all our buildings are almost 40 years or older. And so it is really an opportunity for us to modernize our classrooms, our physical space, and our spaces in particular for our students. So just in this building alone, we need to work in the music area. Rada Hall, all the classrooms in that area need to be modernized. Our student services area needs to really be a little bit more attractive and create sticky spaces so our students will stay and be here longer. Even in our most modern building, the LRC, there are still parts of it that need to be modernized. Now, the second part of what I want to talk about is in particular focused on student success here inwardly. And so I want you to think about this question, and just to yourself for right now. So what does student success look like to you at Sac City College? Let me repeat that question. Think about to yourself here for a few seconds. What does student success look like to you at Sac City College? Take a few seconds to think about that. So now I want you to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to talk to them, and both of you talk about that question and how you answered it. What does student success look like to you at Sac City College? So I'm going to give you about a minute to talk. And if you're being really quiet, then I know. I'm standing up here. I can tell whether you're talking or not, all right? So take about a minute to talk about that question. Okay. Can I have your attention? You're doing it too well, right? So can I have your attention? I knew it was time to get you back because I could overhear Courtney Mack talking about what movie she was going to watch this weekend. So you've had a little bit of time to think about the question, what does student success look like to you at Sac City College? You've had an opportunity now to think or to talk about that with your neighbor. So I want you to condense that information to 1 or 2 words. At worst, I know some of you are really wordy, a little phrase, all right? But 1 or 2 words. And what I want you to do is take out your phone. And for some of you, I could see you already had it out, all right? You're just ready, right? Quick draw. So go to your phone, and in the body of your text area, type in the number 184932, then do a space, and then type in your 1 or 2 words. And then text it to 37607. We'll see how well educators can follow directions. Yeah, I can say that one more time. Absolutely. So take out your phone, go to the texting part of your phone, and in the body, text 184932, space, and then put in the 1 or 2 words that you've created that is answering that question. And then you're sending that text to 37607, and then press send. Yes. Yeah, we're trying to do a word cloud. We're having some technical difficulties here. Here we are. So as you can see, they're varied responses, right? Completion seems to be a very popular response. But you see things like engagement, persistence, community, purpose, equity, graduation, welcome, relationships, growth, employability. And when you think about what's up here, they're varied responses because we all come from different parts of the college, right? We all have different jobs, and so we're coming at that question a little differently. And in fact, when I got asked that question, my first response was, well, what do you mean? Do you mean graduation? Do you mean student success? Do you mean persistence? And so I had all of these questions, and the person's like, just answer the question. Just answer the question. And so when you look at these responses, another question pops up, and that is, what are our students thinking? Do our students, when we ask them the same question, are they responding the same way? So why don't we find out what some of our students have to say?
I define success for myself at Sacramento City College by reaching out to those resources that help you and help you get to that finishing line, help you get to that point. I feel like we define our own successes, so you have to go out of your way to get the help that you need, to get your resources and stuff. So since success is solely defined by you, I define success at Sac City by getting your stuff done.
I came back to Sac City after getting a bachelor's degree and wanted to get into journalism. And Sac City was able to help me do that relatively quickly and point me towards jobs in the field.
I define success at Sac City by prevailing through all obstacles, staying positive, defeating negative stereotypes, and actually doing what you say you're going to do when you set a goal to go through it.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Silva, and what I would define my success at Sac City College is taking all the courses that I possibly can and not giving up no matter what. Even when you have mental illness, you can still do it. We have a great DSPS program, and just to let you know, we got this.
How do I define success at Sacramento City College? I would say the first thing would be just being here at Sacramento City College. That's a success for me. My dream was always to go to college, so I'm getting the opportunity to go to college now, so that's success for me. After I finish my associate's degree at Sac City, success at Sac City will lead me to going to Sacramento State University to get my BA degree in criminal justice. So that's what I find success at Sacramento City College.
Being able to graduate, getting a degree, pretty much.
I define
The only thing that would have been more perfect when the gentleman was speaking about going to Sac State was if he was in front of the sign that said no skateboarding on campus. So what we heard our students say was connecting to resources, right? Making those personal connections, graduating, just being here, transferring. And so similar to some of the things that we talked about, but even more granular, right? Even more personal in nature. But one of the things that we did not hear our students say is, yeah, I'm just here to take 1 or 2 courses. We didn't hear that. It doesn't mean that we don't have students like that, but they're not our majority. So it's an interesting perspective looking at student success by our way, our lens, and then the way that students see that. Last spring, I talked about how when we had the hate speech in the bathrooms that resulted in the protest, that then resulted in student forums, how it impacted me. And the way it did was I kept on hearing our students tell us, we just want to be treated like people. We just want to be treated like people. And I kept on thinking to myself, man, we're the People's College, damn. And we have a group of our students that are telling us we want to be treated like people. And when you peel those layers back, it's really about those personal connections in part of what they're talking about. Not exclusively, but in part. And so as we hear our next speaker come forward, she's going to talk about how some of that research addresses some of this issue. And when we've had many conversations about equity, some of the responses we've gotten back is, I do want to participate, but how? What are some of the things that I can do or we can do as a department to address some of these issues? And again, as Dr. Tracy Gomez comes forward to speak, some of these issues will be addressed. So with that said, I'm going to call on our next speaker, Dr. Tracy Gomez.
If I can get the microphone out, maybe. I can balance. Good morning. All right, so as Michael said, I am Tracy Gomez. I am a faculty member in the English department, and it is my pleasure and I'm extremely excited this morning to present to you City Ways. So as Michael was talking about our student success, keep that guiding question in mind. How can we help our students succeed? And so what I'm going to present today are some ways, some city ways, that we can help our students succeed. So to give you a little bit of a background and where this came about, a team from Sacramento City College, a team of administrators, classified professionals, faculty, a team of 10 people visited Odessa College in Odessa, Texas, in spring of 2018. And they went over several programs that they've been working on to help student success. And one of those programs that stood out to us was their drop rate improvement program. And what they did was they researched and they interviewed 15 instructors with the lowest drop rate on their campus. And based on those interviews, they came up with some themes for what those low drop rate instructors do to keep that low drop rate. So from those 15 interviews with instructors, they came up with their 4 commitments: interacting with students by name, close monitoring, intervention, one-on-one meetings, those sorts of things. And then they took those 4 commitments and they changed the wording to make it relevant for classified professionals. So their results. So they did that one semester, they implemented those 4 commitments the next semester, and these are their results. Persistent rate from fall to spring. Persistence rate means those students in the fall came back in the spring. So their persistence rate went from 70% of their students coming back to 85%. Their success rate for all students, and you can see those numbers, 73% to 83%, and they looked at both in-class and online. And then their drop crosses after the census, 11 to 2.8%. Pretty impressive, right? So why at SCC? So when we look at our persistence rate currently from fall to spring, we're at 61%. Our success rate for all classes, 70% of our classes, students are being completed with a C or better. So that's what that is. That's what that means right now. All right, so what did we do at SCC? So several colleges were attending this leadership institute, attending this leadership institute and taking Odessa College's 4 commitments and just implementing them at their college. And we thought, well, that's not exactly what we want to do. We want to do our own research. We want to make it relevant to Sacramento City College, to our people at Sacramento City College. So the research office identified 19 instructors across various disciplines on campus, and 13 of those instructors, 13 of those instructors agreed to participate in the study. And so I interviewed those instructors. I talked with them for quite some time, and I asked them, what do you do to keep students enrolled in your class? So after those initial interviews, I asked them, can I come back to your class, and can I talk to your students? Because for me, those are the ones we need to hear from, right? That's why we're here. We're here for our students. So I wanted to talk to our students. And 12 of those instructors said, sure, come on in. And I talked to over 400 students. And I asked them, and this was at the end of the semester, so I wanted to make sure those students were finishing that semester with those classes. And I asked those students, why'd you stay in this class? And that was it. Some of the instructors chose to leave the room, and some of the instructors chose to stay in there and listen. But it was pretty amazing to hear what they had to say. So based on the responses from the instructors, based on the responses from our students, we came up with our city ways. So here they are. Our first city way: establish a personal connection with your students early in the semester. Learn their names, get to know them, tell them about yourself. Michael just talked about personal connection, right? It fit right in there with that. Use materials students can relate to and apply to their lives. Make those and other resources easy for students to find. Set clear expectations and deadlines, and be flexible when needed. Communicate with your students electronically and in person as often as possible. Talk with them, not at them. So then we decided to come up with a simplified version, because as we know, sometimes those are easier to remember, right? So personal connection, relatable materials, clarity and flexibility, and communication. So as I mentioned, Odessa College, they took those 4 commitments from faculty, and they changed the wording without any further research. They changed the wording and made them relevant for classified professionals. And so we decided we want to do some research for classified professionals as well. So we have a student feedback card that's given to the students that are entering student services departments. And we had that research from 2009 to 2018. There were roughly 2,700 of those, and I went through 1,000 of those that had comments on them. And so based on those comments, we came up with our City Ways for Classified Professionals. And I had a lot of help with Classified Senate President Courtney, so thank you very much as well. All right, so for City Ways for Classified Professionals, greet students and help them feel comfortable. Make eye contact, smile, acknowledge them, say hello, ask and use their name, right? Help clarify practices and processes for students. Eliminate barriers for them when you can. Give students clear directions for next steps in their processes. Help them find the answers they are looking for. And follow up. Close with your business card and or email to follow up. Okay, so those are based on those comments from those student feedback cards. And again, here's that simplified version. Ask and use the student's name, clarify, next steps, and follow up. And they're pretty similar, right? So how can we help students succeed? We can answer that by saying, doing things the city way, right? So I wanted to hear from some of the student voices, and so I asked them if they would do a video clip for me, and this is certainly not as professional as the last video. And I said, okay, why did you stay in this class? Can you tell me something that helps you to stay in class? And I asked for volunteers. I went back into the classes for the second time, and I asked for volunteers. And some of the students were like, no. I'm like, this is your chance to be famous. I'm going to show this at Convocation, and everybody's going to see it. And so some of the students, they were like, oh, okay, I've got that. I can do that. And some of the students were still like, no way. So what we did was I'm going to show a couple of those clips. These were unprompted. We went out in the hallway from wherever they were in class, and I asked them just to say what they wanted to say, right? So let me show you a few of these.
Talking one-on-one with a teacher can be good support in staying in class.
Was that loud enough? Oh, thank you. I'll run it again.
Talking one-on-one with a teacher can be good support in staying in class.
Talking one-on-one with a teacher can be good support in staying in class, right? They like that personal connection.
My professor really cares about my success in college, and I hope all of my professors will be like her.
I appreciate it when teachers give more leniency to late work.
I knew you all would like that one. And it goes back to that flexibility, right? Right? And I put this one in here because I feel like this sort of sums up everything that we're about, right? Everything that we do, everything new with all of the new initiatives that are coming our way, and all of the changes that have come our way recently, and still more to come, right? This one really sums it up for me, and how for our students and always how we should approach all of these every day. Oops.
He has a positive attitude.
Our students see that. They feel that. Many of our students said, wow, my instructor really likes what they're teaching. They're really passionate about what they're doing. That's powerful, because ultimately that's what we want our students to be, right? Passionate in what they're doing. Choose something that they are passionate about. That's what we want them to do, is that's why we're here. Whoops, excuse me. All right, so we have a lot of videos actually that we will be working on, and you'll see some more of those student voice videos as time progresses throughout the semester. We're going to share those with you. But what's next? So today, after this session, we're going to go to breakout sessions, and there will be a breakout session for administrators, there will be a breakout session for classified professionals, and a breakout session for faculty. And so we're going to ask you to discuss city ways. There will be some prompts and some questions in there to guide that discussion. But we want your feedback, right? Based on that feedback, one of the things that you'll be talking about today is, in the session, is professional development. So what kind of professional development would you like to see in regards to city ways? So we'll be working on professional development throughout the semester and beyond, but each month we'll focus on a new city way. And so we'll take your feedback from today, and that's how we'll develop that professional development. So here's the question for you. So we are interested, we want to continue this research. We want to make sure that what we are doing, we want to continue it, right? We want to see that this is the city way. And so if you would like to volunteer to implement city ways in your classroom or at the counter or in the department that you're working in, we would love to have you volunteer, right? There's no pressure. We just want you to volunteer so that we want to see those same results. We want to see how this works at Sacramento City College. So we want to continue that research. So if you're interested in volunteering to implement city ways, you can either email me or you can let your facilitator know in your breakout session. So if you just let them know, they will keep track of the names and send them over to me when we're done. So thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing city ways around the campus.
All right. Robert, can you help me? So we are going to be dismissing to our interactive sessions momentarily, and Robert's going to help me get into the Google Drive. So you have facilitators in each of the classrooms that I'm going to identify momentarily, and we will, so bear with me for one moment. If you would speak with your neighbor for just a couple minutes while we bring this up. We're going to continue with Michael's question and Tracy's inquiry about what it means to you to create student success. When you think about these, how many of you remember them, the 4 ways, and we'll be with you in just one moment. All right. Thank you all for your group work. If we could come back to one voice for a few moments, then you'll be able to proceed to your breakouts. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. We have no problem being in learning communities, do we? It's beautiful. I also want to announce that Trustee Haynes has just arrived, so we wanted to recognize her. Thank you so much for being here. We Panthers feel so supported, so thanks to both of you for being here. All right, so we're going to begin. The first breakout is going to happen in PAC 130, and this is for all the senior leadership team. So you'll be exiting out the right-hand door, and then proceeding to the left down to room 130. And there you'll be gathering. Your facilitators will be Kimberly McDaniel and Deborah Sachs, and they will be facilitating the conversation around the activities, in this case, the city ways, along with prompts. And once they get there, they'll be able to open up this document online and work through the comments that you bring forward, your feedback to them, just as Tracy described, and they will take active notes. In this case, we want to be able to continue this research as Tracy has referred to. All right, so if you are the administrators, once we dismiss, actually, I think it would be easier if we dismiss, because it allows me organically to choose how many people, what seat row I need to go to. So if you're an administrator, a part of the senior leadership team, if you would simply rise to the occasion, go out through the right-hand door. We'll see you back here promptly at 11 for the recap. I see some walking out the back door, the front door. You need to be going out the side door. No skipping out. I see people running. Catch them. Close the doors. All right. The next interactive sessions are going to be for the classified professionals, and you'll be exiting out through the left-hand door. And you have facilitators, Courtney Mack, Paul Renard, Temperance Bonner, Monica Souza, Valerie Lockhart, and Horacio Mira. They will be, once you get out into the hallway, taking you to room 120, and then right behind the stage are rooms 124 and 125. And depending on numbers, you all can organically decide whether you want to be in 3 separate rooms for more intimate conversations, or because of numbers, consolidate. It's totally free, up to you to make those decisions, all right? So if classified professionals would rise and escort yourselves out through the left-hand door, again, if you will come back promptly by 11, you have incredible facilitators to help facilitate your conversations and comments. And finally, for the faculty, what I'm going to actually do here is to facilitate from number 4 back up to number 1. So we have Deborah Crumpton and Carla Rojas. They're going to escort this side of the, excuse me. 202 is on that side. So on the right side, you all are going to go with Deborah and Carla out the door to the right, up the stairs to room 202, the right side. The left side, you're going to go over with with Jesus and Halsey. The left side's going to go out this door and up the stairs or the elevator to room 201. Now, that leaves the middle. The middle, let's see. Can someone look on your row M? Where's row M? Okay, can you stand row M? So if everybody would look at row M, if you are in front of row M, you're going to come up front and stay here. If you're row M and behind, you're going to go across the hall to PAC 106 with Adam Fries and Carrie Marks. If you're moving up here in front, you're going to be with Donna and Ken. And we will see you all back here at 11 o'clock. Your feedback will all be present in each of these documents. So we look forward to your participation. Thank you so much.